Hello and welcome to Embrace the Darkness. This week is a very special episode for you as we are recording this on the 22nd of February 2025 at the South Downs National Park Star Party on Brighton Seafront.
Now you may notice we are not Elinor. I am Katie Stokes.
I am Francesca Turauskis.
And we're both from the Tremula podcast network. We're here today because right this second, Elinor is quite busy hosting the Star Party.
And this party is to celebrate a week of stargazing related events as part of the Dark Skies Festival that South Downs National Park hold every year. And it's giving us an opportunity to attempt to look up at the night sky with experts from Brighton Astro.
And it's also an opportunity to discuss the national park as an international dark sky reserve. But enough from us for the moment. Let's join the party and speak to some guests. So, can you tell me your name and how you're part of the festival or the South Downs?
Okay, my name is Joshua Esson. I am the Engagement and Events Officer of the South Downs National Park Authority. Every February we do have our Dark Skies Festival, which is always a good time to engage the public, to speak to people both in and around the South Downs National Park about our precious dark skies. Yes, we are an international dark sky reserve. We've been designated that since 2016, and we are doing as much as possible to ensure that we make everybody aware of the usefulness and how precious the dark sky is for human and wildlife could have a good time out there in the precious darkness, because it's becoming precious with lots of light pollution due to human activity.
Feel free to continue looking over my head whilst I ask you a few questions. If you could just say your name first, if you could just introduce yourself. And then...
All right, Stephen Archer. Go along to Brighton Astro.
Do you have any particular memories from being outside on dark nights that are like, that's my top memory, that's what I always go back to when I think about being outside on dark nights?
I think with these sort of events, it's mainly the people you meet, especially when you get small kids come up and you can actually see the skies. First time they look through, just going, wow, amazing. It really makes the evenings. Yeah, seeing the planets for the first time through a telescope is absolutely mind-blowing, rather than just pictures that you see.
Beautiful, thank you.
I'm Thomas Bisco. I think for me, just in general, being at home and going out, seeing the dark night sky at home is always an event in itself. We're in the village where I am. Street lamps go off at a certain time. We get so many stars appear in the sky as soon as it happens. It's just astounding. You can see the Milky Way pop into view. So I guess every dark night I go out to look, I'm always taken aback by what I see.
My name's Jason Street. I'm a member of Brighton Astro. Been a member for about 4 or 5 years, and an avid interest of the night sky, like everyone else really. I've got quite a few early memories. I used to go night fishing with my dad, and I was not interested in fishing whatsoever. So in the daytime I was more interested in anthills, and at night I was more interested in just lying back on a chair looking at the stars. Living in a city at the time, it's something I never got to do much, and it was only when I moved out and got older and got time that I started buying telescopes and taking it a bit more seriously. But yeah, being out under the stars is very magical. Yeah.
Quite a unique memory to be like, yeah, my dad took me out night fishing.
Yeah,
because like, all of these different places.
Yeah,
that's how it introduced you to stargazing.
Yes, it's so he was quite surprised that I was no interest in fishing whatsoever, but I would go with him quite a lot fishing. Yeah, just to sit and look at skies. So when it was clear. Lots of times we were in a tent in the rain eating hot dogs. So it's not quite the same.
But those kind of
yeah,
trips
there
as
we
well.
go. We have a lot of those, lots of that weather in this country. So it's nice when the weather does cooperate, but it's also quite rare.
What was your name? Sorry.
Lulu.
Lovely. Francesca.
Nice to meet you. So the very closest place of Southdown National Park to us is Zapsplatt. Actually, we went there to try to see Northern Lights when it was fairly strong, fairly visible, even down south to Brighton. And we did spot some, and it was really fun. I think we went out around 11:30 at night, and we met another guy who seems to be like, I think he sneaked out of his place. So his wife and his children were asleep, and he sneaked out, and I think he enjoyed that. So we're trying to spot some, trails or any signs of Northern Lights, and I think we managed to, at least our cameras managed to see some. So yes, I think that's the place we most often visit in Southdown.
Hi, I'm John, and I go along to a local astronomy gathering once a month here in Brighton, so it's lovely to get down and try and see what's happening if the skies are clear. If they do clear.
And can I ask you if you have any certain memories or moments, or your favourite one when you think about the night sky, or when you came across a moment with the night sky?
It's a very vague memory, but I'm sure as a child there was a comet that came past when we lived sort of south of the equator, and there was a sky at night we were woken up and taken out, and there was this fantastic stream of light across the night sky, which was something, and I wish I remembered more about it, because it was brilliant to think of that. And yeah, it's always been an interest to look up and see what's happening up there and what the whole history of it going back. So
you
yeah,
just see it in your mind.
yes, trying to, and seeing it through actual telescopes and seeing things like the planets, the moons around Saturn and things like that for real from a ground-based telescope is quite remarkable.
Whereabouts were you?
Southern Africa, but but sort of carrying on even to here, and Brighton Seafront with all the lights and everything, you can still get views of that and the redness of Mars as well, just that it's real. It's not just a description, it's real, so yeah.
Thanks. I'm Victor. I came across this because I was looking up astronomy meetups online because I really like space and I think it's interesting. And I was trying to get out there and meet people in Brighton, so...
Amazing, you've come to the right place. Can I ask you if you have any particular moment or memory of the dark sky or being in the darkness of the night sky that you sort of cherish?
I have a lot of moments because my parents... I was really into space even when I was little, and my parents would drive me out to the middle of nowhere in America, and we'd see because there's so much empty space there that you could just go to one of the states that's mainly just fields, and you can just drive out and look at the sky. Probably one of my best ones was when my grandparents used to live in the mountains in Colorado. You could basically see, because there was no trees anywhere, because we were really high up, so there wasn't enough oxygen for the trees, and you could see all the constellations and all that kind of stuff, and it was really cool. I always loved looking at space because I like shiny things. I guess as I got older, it's also kind of a little bit scary to think of how big it is, but also comforting at the same time.
My name's Imogen. One of my favourite experiences before is when I'm going on a bike around that my stepdad drives. I sit on the back and I don't have to do anything, and when it's dark I just look up and I can see loads of bright stars.
That's really nice. That's the good thing about getting somebody else to drive, isn't it? You can enjoy looking out the window.
Yeah,
wasn't it? And this telescope here, I can see. I've just been told that it's a travel one.
Yeah.
What does that mean in terms of can you tell us how big it is? Can you tell us how you put it together?
Well, it's quite simple to set up.
We had a practice at home, didn't we, before we came out?
Yeah.
So that we'd know how to do it.
Yeah. It's very detail when you zoom in and stuff, because we zoomed in on a chimney pot and you could see all the cracks and bits of dirt on it.
Oh, nice. And is this going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, the first time that you're pointing it at the sky then?
Yeah.
And what kind of things do you reckon you'd be able to see at this time of year when you're on the seafront and that kind of stuff? What would you be hoping to see when you point out?
The moon.
The moon, yeah.
And really bright planets and things.
Yeah, really bright planet.
So it is nearly 6 o'clock. It is just getting a little bit dark now. We do still have fairly cloudy skies, but we do have a lot of people gathering around on the seafront here, and I'm just going to give a little bit of an idea as to what we've got down on the seafront. So the first thing as you come from the kind of like centre of town way is this beautiful massive puzzle that is on the ground. It is the South Downs National Park Dark Skies puzzle. At the moment it's not very well put together, so I'm hoping that we're going to get some more people in to start fixing that at some point soon. But I can see some of the pieces here. We have glowworms, we have Mars and Taurus, we have a nightjar, and I can see an owl staring at me. So this puzzle is going to be a lovely example of the kind of things that we can see at night in the South Downs National Park.
But the deep parts are where it's best for stargazing. So it depends on where you live. We are right about here. And so, having said that, we are an international dark sky reserve. We have top 10 discovery sites along the South Downs where you can actually go to have wonderful stargazing experience. I'm an enthusiast myself. I do go out at night, even at midnight sometimes, to actually have a look into the sky, to see what constellation is out there. And I use some very useful apps to see beautiful things. And I think it helps me to connect better with nature. I think it's good for my well-being, and I think it's good for the well-being of many other people who find it useful to actually go out at night where it's safe, where the weather is good enough. You just go out at night in solitude and quietness and actually reach deep within yourself. It helps you to think, meditate, relax, and all of that, which I think is very good for our mental health. And it's good for even our physical health and all of that. We also try to do bits and pieces all across the year of dark skies experience, stargazing up and about in the South Downs, and in the process trying to engage as many people as possible, which is always good because I've made so much friends. And that's so good for me to actually make so much friends. So my message has always been, please go out at night, go out during the day. Try to do as much as you can. Try to connect with nature. It's good for you. It's good for everyone. But leave no trace. We try to tell people, leave no trace. Try as much as possible to be responsible when you use the countryside. Ensure that you leave it as good as you met it. But do as best as you can. Connect with nature. Enjoy yourself. Relax. Unwind. And do every beautiful things you can do out there in the environment and in nature and on the countryside, but leave no trace, which is that, yeah.
Do you have any special or like important memories to you about the night sky, or moments that you love?
Yes, I have lots of memories about the dark skies, right from when I was young, in a beautiful countryside in Africa where my grandfather used to have a farm, and I remember it's nights we used to sit down with my grandma and listen to some beautiful stories about life and all of that. She used to be a storyteller, and she gathers all the children in the big compound, and then there are no electricity, so we just look up into the skies. And so those times are actually shaping memory for me as a child, to actually know the importance of standing out at night. And sometimes I imagine myself just being out there, just traveling the cosmos or the Milky Way and all of that. And I also imagine all the scientific discovery about millions of kilometers in distance between one planet and the other and all of that, which is good. And that also propels me to read more about this universe, about the space and things like that. Just think about how wonderful the heart is.
My name's Phil and I'm from Brighton Astro. If you're going to be into looking at anything in the sky in this country, you definitely have to be an optimist, as you can tell by the amount of clouds, and we're still here, regardless. If I start, I'll tell you a little about Brighton Astro. We're a local astronomy group. We've been going, when did we start? 2016? We're just a group of enthusiasts, really, just amateurs. We cater for everyone. It's a really inclusive place. It's not an expert. It's not for people that know loads. It's just for people that just got any kind of taste for something space. Quite often we'll come down to Brighton Seafront where we can share things with the public, and we'll try and look at the planets and some of the stars. And it just helps us sort of just, again, it's all about sharing, really. You know, because we're just enthusiastic about it. And the appetite for space amongst the public is just massive.
Why do you think that is? What is it about space that attracts you first?
So I guess for me, at my age, it started off with Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, but more than that, there's something about space which, it's like a blank canvas. It's unknown, and it's the future, and it's something to explore, and it's something that you've shared with every other human being that ever actually lived. I mean, the first human beings looked up at the sky, and you're still looking up at the same things in that sky. I mean, it could be like 250,000 years later. It's the one thing we share, and so on that basis, and I being flippant at the beginning about being optimistic about seeing anything in this country, but actually, at the heart of liking space, I think there is optimism, and I think that's probably what pulls me in. And then when you're doing outreach stuff like this, and when you're with the group having the talk, you can feel it. It's a really nice, relaxed people. It's bringing people together. It's sharing something. It's community. It's, you know, you can get a lot just from that. And so I guess that's a lot of why I do this. Anyway, just that idea of being together with just people and sharing stuff and looking upwards and having a canvas on which you can paint all sorts of things. And space is that.
Yeah.
That kind of infinite, massive, unknown sort of blank canvas.
What was the hope with this event? So you're obviously working together with the South Downs.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a few years with the South Downs as part of their Dark Skies Festival. One of the nice things about them coming into Brighton is that there's a lot of people here. So it's great going to dark sky areas, particularly if you're really into astronomy or an astrophotographer, because you can start capturing those really deep sky stuff. It's really important the work that South Downs National Park are doing. It keeps going, you know, and it keeps being funded, you know, and we can still put on events like this and like get more people into the stars. And when they see the stars, hopefully they might take it further and go to somewhere like Ditchling Beacon or Devil's Dyke or Burling Gap, which is local to us here, and actually really appreciate what a sky full of stars can look like. But they're not easy places to get to. So when they come into Brighton, it's great because there's loads of people on the seafront that will stop. I mean, you know, if we were looking at Saturn or Jupiter or something and you can show people those things in the sky, it really makes it a real kind of 3D canvas. It's not just something on television. It's actually something you live with and live in space, and you get some lovely reactions, you know, and all sorts of people. We get teenagers down here, which, you know, they'll look through the telescope and you'll get that ooh, or quite often something stronger than that, you know, and like suddenly you realise it's not a star, it's a planet, and like it's kind of blows your mind a little bit, and like so it's really nice to be able to share that, and so that's why it's great when the South Downs people come in and, you know, we can be part of it, really. Let's just hope we get some breaks in the clouds tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I'm going to come and steal you whilst you were having your moment of quietness.
That's all right, yeah. Hi, I'm Elinor. My non-official title is Queen of Darkness. Officially, I'm the Events and Engagement Assistant, and I coordinate and organise the South Downs National Park Dark Skies Festival and the Dark Skies engagement over the year.
Beautiful. And I have also noticed that even though obviously you're wearing your South Downs outfit, you have some very nicely themed earrings. Very much like to hear about the earrings very quickly.
So I'm known for my earrings. In the office, I like to theme my earrings depending on the time of year or what I'm doing. So I've got a pair of astronaut earrings. And actually the double earrings, the double holes, they're also tiny little astronauts as well. So I think it's important to celebrate our dark skies, and that's one way I do it, is through my earrings.
The theme for this year is find the glimmer.
Glimmers. Yes.
So can you give us a little bit of an idea as to what glimmers means to you?
Oh, yeah. No, I love that word, glimmers. So it's something about, obviously, the beautiful lights in the night sky, and the way you really need the darkness to set the glimmers off. So you have those kinds of glimmers. I do glowworm surveying, and it's the glimmers of the glowworms. So that's the sort of visual glimmers. You also get, I love bird song, so I would say they're sort of auditory glimmers. There's all sorts of different ones. Smells, particular smells can also be glimmers. So it's those moments that just grab your attention. There's a cormorant just flying past here. So it's just something like that, when you just catch something out the corner of your eye and when you're immersed in your senses. There's also something about a glimmer of just things that bring you joy, or looking through the telescope, for example, and seeing Jupiter for the first time, or seeing Saturn, and you can see the rings, and just those moments of bringing that bring joy and wonder, and just paying attention. And they don't have to be big at all. Just really celebrating that we have these glimmers throughout our days, and just really trying to notice them.
Finally got something.
What? Oh, there is a single star.
That's probably it's Jupiter. That's Jupiter.
I've been told there's a Jupiter.
Yes, I think that is Jupiter up there. It is the right sort of coloration, so... Yeah. Oh, it's coming into view now, yeah.
Oh, nice. So it's very impressive to me that you're like, yep, that's Jupiter, and I can see a tiny speck through the cloud layer that we are basically sitting and standing in. How can you tell? What is it about Jupiter that makes it Jupiter?
Well, it is one of the brightest objects we can see in the sky. So behind the sun, the moon, and sometimes the space station, the planets are the brightest objects in the sky. It wouldn't be Venus, because Venus, it normally sticks close to the horizon. Venus is closer to the sun than us, so it always sticks close to the sun in the sky. And given that we're seeing this bright dot at this time, this height above the horizon, it's got to be Jupiter. So,
beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. No problem.
Somebody's seen something tonight.
You can't actually see it now.
No, so if I lose it in this, we'll never find it. So I've got to keep adjusting it.
Oh, I can.
Oh, it's so cool.
So you should be able to see a bit of the colour.
Yeah.
The clouds and the four moons either side of it.
Yeah, I see the moons.
Yeah.
I see some stripes.
That's it.
That's the clouds.
Yeah.
So cool.
There we go.
That's great. Look at the stripes.
The puzzle is finished. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So we've got a house and a church and a barn owl on a post, red fox, ermine moth, private hawk moth, tawny owl, horseshoe bat, badger, glowworm. And there's the nightjar up in the sky. And then it's got all of the constellations and things that you could see in the sky if you get a clear night. The Andromeda Galaxy, Cassiopeia, Venus, Perseus, North Star, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Gemini, Taurus, Orion, Mars. That's lovely.
It is so lovely. Everyone is so enthusiastic. This is such a cool thing. We're surrounded by telescopes. There's 3 massive ones, a couple of little ones people have brought, and some Brighton Astro have brought. And everyone's just chatting about space and how amazing it is, and their first time seeing the Milky Way, and their first time seeing them, I don't know, the planets and certain stars, and the first time you recognise them and the way that they make you feel. And I think it's just been really inspiring to hear how everyone's connecting about their individual experiences, but it's something that we all share, looking at the sky and experiencing awe and wonder and excitement and existentialism and everything like that. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to more people. It's been so lovely and everyone's so open about it. I think when you talk to strangers, it's really nice to have something to talk about. So everybody's very open, and I think that really shows how something like this and a festival like this and outreach like this can really create community and draw invisible strings to people that we're all connected by the night sky, and that's really special.
Thank you for listening to Embrace the Darkness, presented by me, Elinor Newman. The podcast is recorded and produced by the South Downs National Park Authority from the South Downs International Dark Sky Reserve. Music is by Orbit DoD, direct from Upbeat. To find out more about the South Downs International Dark Sky Reserve, including the best places to stargaze, go to www.southdowns.gov.uk/dark skies. If you have a comment, suggestion, or any other thoughts, we would love to hear them. You can contact us on embracethedarkness@southdowns.gov.uk. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a rating or a review. And until next time, embrace the darkness.